Wow, I'm sure glad we survived the crash.
I'll say. It is weird how we crashed right next to our house, though.
It's very convenient.
I wouldn't worry about it too much. And besides, all our neighbors are dead, so that's a good thing.
Why is that a good thing?
Normally, I agree with you, Joe, but I gotta side with my son on this one. And it's not because he could kill us all at any given second. Nope, definitely not that.
Good.
You guys don't remember? We had to leave town because Harley killed a kid.
Oh, that's right. Wait. Didn't she only seriously injure him?
Just found the kid died.
Well, crisis averted then?
Sure.
Hold on 1 second.
Gosh.
Fucking
Damn.
You got a new crisis going on?
Look, kid, we just survived a plane crash. Can you at least give us 20 minutes to ourselves? Then, we'll fight you or go to your wedding or
raid the nearest Applebee's.
What? No. I'm not here for any of that.
Oh, then, what are you here for?
I'm here because I answered the ad.
What ad? Joe?
No idea what you're talking about.
The ad on the flyer that says you're looking for a 6th member to read bad fanfics.
Oh, that. Yeah, that was, like, I don't have any memory of putting one out.
Well, you did.
To be honest.
Implies you were lying before.
Right. I don't have any doubt that you're lying.
You sure you want to join? Our 6th member became a drug addict when we finished our first fic.
I don't remember him being a part of that.
He means the one before A Day in Life.
I guess it couldn't hurt to have you as our new 6th member.
Wouldn't he be our new 5th member? Harley left us for college.
On the plus side, we could still keep those flyers around the city. We'd still be honest.
Implies you were lying.
Ah, you fucker.
So, I'm in?
Heck yeah.
Sweet.
You could take Harley's old room, since she won't be using it.
Sweet. Say, when do we start reading?
Right now?
Sure.
I'm up for it.
Fuck it. Let's do it!
Also, what do we call you?
Call me Ultimate Ditto.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the long-awaited return of Mourning Reads. I'm your host, Alex Williams. If you're wondering why I sound like Kaiju X, I tend to channel him whenever I'm doing intros for videos, including the Corn Gaming channel, which I'm shamelessly plugging in, or shamefully plugging in. I don't know the difference. With me, I have Kaiju X,
Heyo.
Joe, Nagoda, and a new member. Introduce yourself.
It's your boy, Ultimate Ditto.
Alright, awesome. Glad to finally have you here, my dude.
Thanks.
Woohoo!
Wow, you really are channeling me.
Well, yes, that is what I'm doing. Anyway,
I haven't heard a gosh darn it yet.
God damn it.
That's his version. I have mine.
Well, dang, that's
Anyway, we are reading The Bride of Bagan on a more antsy teenage version. We'll just call it the CW version of the fanfiction and archive of our own websites, Wattpad. We're reading Bride of Bagan. No,
Wait, which pad is it?
Wattpad.
Which pad?
What?
Hey!
Which pad? That's
What
I'm
pad, goddammit?
I would also, just really quickly before we begin, I would like to, the Bride of Bagan was actually requested by, the author, God's Rider 777. So, I'm sure you've been waiting for this one, and honestly, I hope you have a blast with it, and I hope we have a blast with it, so...
I don't know why you sent this to us.
So, I mean, a little bit of exposure doesn't hurt.
I think I'm gonna cry just like the bride in the poster is.
But Alex, as you were saying, shall we begin?
Yeah, author's note at the very beginning. I will not do any more of these fan-based stories. This is the experiment/exception I will do. Hi, Tom. Summary. There's an E instead of an A, I suppose. Bagan, a evil kaiju instead of an evil kaiju, chose a female kaiju named Gozer to be his bride. The problem is, she is afraid of him having constant nightmares about him. Will Bagan get what he wants, or will Gozer bring out something no one ever thought of seeing?
Oh.
A Bagan movie?
Maybe.
Anyway, what were you saying, Ditto, my man?
I didn't say no.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
No.
Gosh darn it.
Chapter 1, Nightmares in Reality. No, Bagan belongs to Toho. Angel Zilla and Gozer belong to me. Gozer belongs to Sony, asshole. Gozer, a young... What were you saying?
Does Toho even care about Bagan?
No, I don't think they do. Gozer, a young pterodactyl creature with normal arms, shook in fear as she was having a wet dream. A dream that no one wished to ever have. She would see a large dragon-like creature, had blood-red eyes and distorted roar that could send shivers of fear through even the darkest of souls. But the scariest thing about these dreams is when the creature would pick her up and hold her to it. But it wouldn't say anything to her as the screams of innocent lies, but this time it did say something to her. It whispered in her, saying, "You will be mine, my love, count on it." That's when she'll wake up. Jolting awake, she felt the color of her face come back, and she felt a certain wetness down there. She shook her head as she stood up. She looked out the window of her house. She saw the sun peering in like it, having a much-needed welcome. Gazer suit and burnt up through her nose as she sat up. She gets out of her house to see all the happy couples embracing each other. This made her feel sad. Why she wasn't sure, but she was. She walked towards Godzilla as he and Bianca watched the sky. Who the hell's Bianca? Angel Zilla flew overhead toward the island. She saw Gozer, but she first noticed the distressed look on Gozer's face. The Evangelion landed onto the ground and looked at her and said, "Wet dreams?" Gozer only noted. Evangelion shook her head. Meanwhile, a massive volcano climax. A large dark figure emerged from the climaxing volcano. It looked at the ground beneath it. The figure's mind was focusing on something. It closed its blood-red eyes, trying to focus on what it was after. It then saw flashes of their prize, Gozer. The figure smirked. "Finally!" It spoke in a deep and raspy voice. It stood erect and headed towards her location.
Gosh darn it.
Masagami?
Alright, so I immediately I have problems.
What are the problems?
It brisk.
I see nothing wrong with this.
I'm glad you don't. But no, it's like, where the heck are we? It's like, is this supposed to be Monster Island? I suppose it's Monster Island.
But why are there houses?
Great question. Who knows? Maybe we'll discover more as we continue reading. So I'll take over chapter 2.
Is this going to awaken anything in someone?
Being destroyed.
It might. Someone might be awakened. I might be awakened. Oh, chapter 2. Real or fantasy? It's just clearly fantasy. Anyway.
Caught in a landslide. No escape from reality.
Gazer and Angelzilla walked toward the field, clearing to talk in private about nightmares Gazer's had been having or late. Oh boy. This is a little rougher than I thought it'd be. Alright, Gazer, what did the monster do this time? She asked, concerned. Gazer gulped as she took in a deep breath. Well, it started out normal, with the monster tarring through all of you like paper. It would hold me like normal, but this time it spoke something to me, she said, shaking. Angelzilla...
That is not normal.
No, it's not. Then again, having a dream about a giant demon dragon coming up and holding you anyway's not normal. You should get that checked out. Angelzilla leaned in. What did it say? She asked as Gazer shuddered at the thought of the words. It said, "You will be mine, my love. Count on it," in a deep, raspy, awkward old man voice. And that's when I woke up. Gazer started to tear up. I was about to say tear up, but I see. I need to get Mothra the information. This could be just a dream or something very much real. I want you to go to your hiding spot in case it is real, she instructed. Gazer nodded and flew away as Angel Zilla did.
What the hell is this? For crying out loud, someone throw a pie!
Oh man, yeah, I know. It's immediate, like on a legit, like. Granted, this is something I should be saying by the end of this, but I feel like throwing in there now before I forget. Like, it's a bit messy. Like the word, like there's not enough. It's very messy. Like there are, like it's like I'm pretty confident that tenses are being thrown around in all the wrong places, kind of switching up a lot. I know how that is, but goodness me. And it's also a little hard. It's not really that, like, structurally organized either. It's like, characters speak in one paragraph, and it's like, oh boy. So it's like, really, there's definitely a lot of room, objectively speaking, just a lot of room for improvement here. But I shall continue with dignity.
I think the biggest problem so far is that there's no context.
Not yet.
Who are these characters?
I mean, we have 20-something chapters. That should be plenty of time to get to know these people. Angel Zilla flew to Infant Island to speak with Mothra. Thankfully, she was there. "Mothra, I bear news about Gazer's dream," Angel Zilla said as Mothra flew to her. What is it? Mothra didn't finish her sentence at the look of Angel Zilla's face showed. What the? Oh! Her face grew concerned. "I believe those dreams are more realistic than you originally thought, old friend." That's how that works.
Oh god, Bill Cosby roofied her.
Oh gosh! This dream had words. I think that would be more concerning.
This dream had words?
Dreams have words all the time. It's only when you can read in them that should be a little bit more concerning.
Yeah.
Angel Zilla said as she explained what Gazer had told her. Mothra grew scared, and only scared. "Then we must warn the others about this at once," she said as Angel Zilla nodded and two flew back towards Monster Island.
Didn't she already warn the other monsters about this?
I guess not. There's no clarity on whether, like, so far, Gazer told Angel Zilla told Mothra. But I don't think whole of Monster.
But wasn't Godzilla present?
Godzilla was there. He was just last chapter. And
yeah, so
he's
the leader of the island. So like a good mayor or president, he should be addressing the public.
Yes.
Hold a press conference.
Yes. Where are they going? Godzilla and Bianca waiting for them. There is so much wrong with that alone. Good grief. Gazer told what happened. "Do you really think someone could destroy Earth?" Bianca asked, worried about the Earth. "Thank you for your concerns, Bianca, but who are you?" Angel Zilla nodded. "Yes, and we need to be ready for an attack," she said as Godzilla nodded. Angel Zilla, before you go ordering the others into position, I think I know who we might be up against. The description matched one name I know. Magically. Bagan, Mothra said. Wait, that was Mothra?
Yep.
Gosh, I thought that was going into Godzilla because he hasn't said a damn word.
Well, of course Godzilla can't talk. He's a giant monster.
Mothra
Even
said.
have a vampire translation.
Angel Zilla nodded. I'll keep that in mind. Oh my gosh. If this really is what is happening, she said as Mothra nodded. Everyone's a bobblehead. They can only nod. Then that's when they heard a distorted roar loud enough to send chills down their spine. Gazer snapped her head up and started to shack in fear. Started to shack in fear.
I am.
Bagan had arrived. They rushed over to the beach of the island, seeing the massive kaiju standing before them. All kaiju knew who this monstrosity was, magically. Bagan.
Redundant is redundant.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
But yeah, Jesus Christ, that was redundant.
Oh, that was redundant. Oh, okay. Nagoda, your turn.
Okay, chapter's loading up. I'll have to wait a bit.
Alright. Oh my.
Guys, I'm literally shacking in fear.
Yeah, shack in fear. Oh my gosh. I'm starting to now see why I think the writer wanted us to read this. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Chapter 3. The first meet. Bagan makes landfall. Everyone was standing guard, knowing the fact that he might be here to destroy Earth. But there should be a period there. But Gazer knew better. She knew he was here. He was here something else. She was hiding in her. She was in her. I cannot read this. She was in her hiding area and hoped he won't find her through all this chaos. Bagan snarled at the large group of defenders.
By large, just before
them. What? Where are you hiding? Wait. Oh yeah, Angels growls back. We don't know what. Wait, I can't do the voice right now. We don't know what you're talking about.
Sounded exactly like an angel.
Yeah.
But Joe, Nagoda is an angel.
True.
Bagan growled. Oh no, she's ill. The Earth defenders readied themselves for the attack. Bagan charged at them. Angels grabbed Bagan's arms and threw back to where he was. I lost track of where I was. Well, Bagan snarled at her. Something told her that something was very off here. But she shook the feeling off and continued her attack. The fate of the world began with a thundering chorus of rockets, lasers, and...
Wait, what the? I think you're reading the wrong match there, buddy.
Yeah, the reason it took so long is because I opened up match 51 on the side.
Nice.
Wow, the real Bagan was searching. Wait, what? The real Bagan was searching for her. He knew they would hide her from him, which he didn't like that much. He then saw a copper red skin with bright forest green eyes. It was a pterodactyl with normal arms. It was obviously a dinosaur. Bagan knew this was the one. His soul. It was looking away from him. He decided to make his presence known. Hello there, he spoke, causing her to jump in fright. She gazed up at him in fear as he smirked at her. Finally, after all these years of searching for him, I finally found you, the one that shall be by my side through the corruption of the pathetic grip. You're my soul. She was frozen in fear. She was frozen.
I'm sorry, that delivery of what was great.
In fear, he reached over to touch her cheek, but she cowered in fear. Do not be afraid. Your soul is mine. He smirked at her. She asked. She relaxed. What do you want from me? She asked in fear as he smiled. You, in all my life, I cannot live another day without your soul by me, which is why I will steal your soul So you will be mine to rule over there. She looked at him with horror. Yeah, I keep mixing up my voices. Never, I won't be with you, she says. Bagan growls as he cliches his fish.
That was very cliche.
I've been searching for you my whole life. Wait, really? His whole life?
Yep, ever since 1984.
Or 1980 if you want to go further back.
That's why he killed almost all the kaiju in match 51.
And 56.
Just for this one pterodactyl.
With normal arms.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to let anything change that. You will be mine.
He snaps, causing her to tremble. Bagan sighs. He said, holding her close to him. Rodan tried so hard to push him away. I forgot which voice this was. Angel Zella's voice shouted. Bagan looked her with anger as Angel Zella snarled, "Let." No, you're wrong voice. The others were right behind her. Wait, weren't they just fighting? Bagan said with anger, holding the pterodactyl closer to him. Gazer struggled to get away as Godzilla said, "Yes, we do."
Oh, now he finally talks.
Yeah,
As
3
Bagan
chapters
growled.
in.
Wait.
Then you shall say beneath me.
He charged at them and dropped Gazer in the process. Wait, so is he treating it like Shinja now? The others charged at Bagan. You deny the concept that she is mine and mine. Wait. Who's. Oh, wait.
You deny the concept that she is mine and mine alone.
Angel Zilla kicked his chest. You can't forget it. Bagan growls as looked at Gazer. She was starting to cry. Bagan knew he had to rethink his strategy. But one thing is certain, her soul will be his.
She will be mine.
With that, he laughed. Really? He dropped her and left?
Sounds like
What
Grand
an asshole.
King from match 56.
Oh man, freaking! Oh my gosh! Yeah, this is gonna
Well,
be
and-
a triple, all right.
Well, in that-
3 chapters in, and this is already making me sick.
All right, good news. Everything's back to normal.
Oh no!
All right, Ditto, you're up.
Okay. Chapter 4. Geezer's Fear. Geezer was shaking in fear as Zilla placed her hand on her. It's gonna be okay.
Ditto, could you speak a
We won't-
little louder? You're really quiet.
I am?
Yeah, you're a little on the quiet
Yeah.
side.
Okay. Is this any better?
Yeah, that's much
Yeah.
better. Much better.
Okay. I guess I'll restart. Chapter 4. Geezer's Fear. Geezer was shaking in fear as Angelo placed her hand on her shoulder. It's gonna be okay. We won't let this monster get you. Angel Zilla looked at her as Geezer looked down. Meanwhile, Bagan paced in anger. He was angry for not getting his prize. Fragger. He looked at Punch. He looked at Punch ground.
Wow.
Yoda wrote this.
He growled as he narrowed his eyes. He looked down the mountain where he saw Gazer and Angelino. Bagel growled as he went to rethink his plan. Later, Geezer was laying down on the soft grass. She was starting to get tired. She slowly closed her eyes. Bagan then felt Gazer's presence close to him, along with some of the Earth Defenders. He closed his eyes to get a good look at her location. He saw her sleeping. No one was around, which made him smirk. He laid down and dozed off, causing the two to have a connection which enables him to enter her mind. In dream. Geezer was in a battlefield, standing at the edge of the battlefield. Looked down to see the dead body of Godzilla, caused her to back away and bump into something. She looks behind her to see the nightmare himself, Bagan. Bagan smirked. You know you can't escape me. Even when you do wake up from this knowing one thing, I will have you all to myself. He smirked as he lifted her face. Geezer backs away, but suddenly a cliff edge, catching her off guard. Bagan smirks as he leans in closer to the face. Geezer widened her eyes and leaps off the edge. Bagan tried to catch her, but she flies into the air. Bagan roars out in anger and frustration. End of dream.
Thank you for telling me that story that the dream began and ended.
I can see why Bagan was pissed off he didn't get the Soul Stone.
What a twist.
Now half of all, once he gets all the Infinity Stones, half of all Gazers will love him.
Oh no!
Only half.
Gazer jumps awake and out of fear, tears forming in her eyes. Meanwhile, Bagan opens his eyes and growls. He looked towards with narrow eyes. No matter, I know your location is. My dear, I'll have you soon enough.
What a
He smirked and stood up.
At this point, just call him Bill Cosby.
No kid.
He looks at the
Bagan's like
sun.
Bagan's like a nice guy.
He's just misunderstood.
Oh my gosh.
He should wear a fedora.
Oh no, I lost my place. Okay, here. He smirks as he heads towards Gazer's location. Meanwhile, Gazer heads towards her house. Once she got in, she laid on her couch, afraid of falling asleep, not without having the dream she's having. They shook her to the core. Why won't he leave me alone? As if, in return to that question, a voice spoke. Because I want you.
Oh.
Later that night, she woke up to her whole bed completely wet.
Oh my gosh. Alright, Joe, you're up.
Chapter 5. Nearly Kidnapped.
Spoilers.
Gazer turns to see Bagan behind her. Gozer was shaking as Bacon gets closer to her. Don't be afraid. I'm just here for what's mine. He smirks as Guzar looks at the door. He grabs her arm and she looks at him afraid. And she pulled away and ran out the door. Bacon growls and runs after her. He looks around for her. Gulag was looking at him from her room. Bagan glanced back at the roof, causing her to hide. He leaps up and climbed the roof. She hides more as he looked around for her. Gazer covered her mouth while shaking. Bagan sniffed the air around him. Smells like a mediocre fanfiction.
Joe, you're being way too kind.
She shifted and accidentally knocked a part of the shingles off the roof. This made both Bagan and Gazer to freeze in place. Bagan growls as he turned in her direction. This causes Gazer's heart rate to quicken. She had a heart attack. She prayed that someone would save her, cause she don't have any powers like the other kaijus.
Oh, oh! I'm sorry, Pacific Rim. I love you, but kaijus. That always grinds my gears.
Cause she don't have any powers like those other kaijus. She looks to not find Bagan there. She releases a breath of relief. She steps out of her hiding place. Let's just say it was a bad idea, cause she was suddenly grabbed. Gazer's mouth was covered, but Bagan's hand as she struggled. He held her close as he started to head his merry way with her. Oh no. She struggled as Bagan leaps off the roof and lands on the ground, causing an indent in the earth. Something, however, spotted them and saw that Gazer was fighting to get free. The kaiju swoops into action and attacked Bagan and snatched Gazer from Bagan's claws. Bagan wasn't pleased with this and glared at whoever attacked and took his prize from him. This was no ordinary kaiju. This was as powerful enough to take him on and probably win. This kaiju goes by the name of Skeleturtle.
Honestly, that would actually be a better reveal.
That would be a much better reveal. The picture was not necessary because it's totally not like there's enough context set up to who it's actually referring to. Anyway.
Bagan growled, as did Nemesis. The two circled each other as Gazer watched them in fear. Give me Gazer and I promise to let you live. Bagan smirked as Nemesis growled. That's a no.
Oh, I get it now. It's a Bill Cosby versus Harvey Weinstein story.
The story we've all been waiting for.
What is this, a crossover episode? Nemesis said in a female voice.
I'm sorry.
It was intimidating. I wasn't aware Nemesis was female.
She is.
I'm
Okay.
confused.
Yeah. What are you confused by?
Can we please stop reading this now?
Oh, that sounds like the initiative to keep reading. Let's go.
Fuck.
Yes. It was intimidating. Bagan growled as he had to get what he wants the hard way. Oh my. Very well then. He charged at Nemesis as she swings her massive claws at Bagan, which she did land a hit on his arm, which made him roar in pain. Gazer was cheering on Nemesis in her mind and praying that Nemesis would win. Bagan looks at Nemesis. This is not over, Gazer, my dear, my lady. He smirks and ran off doing the Naruto run.
What the fuck is this?
Oh my god.
I legitimately have no idea what the hell's going on.
I don't either.
The only thing I know for sure is that Baggage trying to get Gazer, and he keeps running away like a giant wuss. Like, oh my gosh. This is supposed to be the biggest, baddest dude of them all, but he keeps running away.
I'm confused by his motives. Does he want to crush some puss, or is he a pussy?
Great question.
Well, in this story, Bagan is a nice guy.
He's just misunderstood.
He just needs a fedora and a body pillow. A Gazer body pillow.
I guess the literal saying, nice guys finish last, applies to this story perfectly.
Nemesis growled it. She looked at Gazer. You have some explaining. Gazer nodded. I indeed do. Gazer agreed. The two head inside Gazer's house for some tea. Gazer explained to Nemesis what was going on, and Nemesis was laughing at this hysterically. Oh, that's gold. But I know you're serious since you were nearly kidnapped. Do the others know this is happening?
Oh, jeez, they were fighting him in the last chapter.
I know. It's like, are you serious? Wait, what?
Where was Nemesis during all this?
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
I've been reading Nemesis's lines with Captain Marvel in mind, and she is like Captain Marvel in Endgame.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
Gazer nods. She started to tear up and weep. Nemesis, being the best friend she is to Gazer.
What? Okay,
When did
so
this
I guess
happen?
we're learning that now.
I'm glad that friends also do laugh at each other about being kidnapped.
Yeah, it reminds me of the time Kaiju X was almost kidnapped. Wouldn't stop laughing for a whole week.
That was hilarious.
Or how Nagara almost slit my throat.
Yeah, I know, that was funny. That was
Amazing.
really funny.
I remember you even almost died laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we all died.
those were-
We all died of laughter after that.
Hugs to calm her down. Bagan was watching them. He growls as if he started to hate himself. She's now terrified of him, and he couldn't comfort her like he wanted to. Bagan felt a tear roll down his face. He quickly wiped it with his fedora.
Well,
and
what
stood
the
up.
fuck did you expect, dude? You're fucking terrorizing her!
Yeah, I know, you're terrorizing her! You're beating the shit out of everyone! And it's like, what? You expect us to have sympathy? I'm sorry, Alex, this is getting too good. I need to see how this ends!
This further proves that Bagan is a nice guy.
Oh, God.
Alright, Alex, chapter 6!
All
Stood
right.
up and leave to not be spotted.
Alright, Chapter 6, The Unexpected Company. Note, so sorry for not posting in so long. If only you never posted it again. While Gozer and Nemesis were chatting away, that's when they heard a knock on the door. Gozer and Nemesis looked at the direction of the sound, and Gozer gets up. She looks and sees Monster X standing there. She sighed and hesitated to open it. Jesus Christ, that was a long run-on
I
sentence,
see
and
my
Gozer was
friends
mentioned 3
trying
times.
to Get revenge on Bagan for mess with him right now.
Nemesis walked towards the door and opened it. Monster X looked up and grew a stiffy. When it came to the moment and seeing Nemesis, what are you going here? Oh, Jesus Christ. I have no idea what the hell he's trying to say.
Let me try and translate that for you. What are you going here, you humanoid freak?
Nemesis snarled. Monster X regained his composure and stated, I heard Bagan was around, and so I wanted to know if you've seen him. Gozer grew horrified at the mention of Bagan's name. Gozer started to shake in fear, and she looks down. Nemesis narrowed her human-like eyes. Yeah, but I don't know where he ran off to, but I know I've seen him. She said, pointing to the direction where Bagan ran off. They then saw him standing on top of the volcano. He went that way, I reckon. I think this is what I think it was to a volcano.
I think is what?
His was to a volcano.
Oh my gosh.
She said. Monster X nodded and left. Nemesis closed the door as Gozer shook in fear. Pointless cameo is pointless. Meanwhile, Bagan was...
Well, at least this confirms the KWC XXX match, Monster X versus Bagan, round 2.
Meanwhile, Bagan was searching for something to hit, to destroy, to kill. See, this is exactly why Gozer doesn't like you.
No wonder
Gozer
why
wa-
he killed Monster X first.
Gozer was the one thing on his mind. Not only that, her friend was Nemesis. Stop. Oh my. Dude, if you just said Gozer was the only thing on his mind, now Nemesis is on his mind? What the fuck? But what killed him on the inside was the fact that Gozer was terrified of him. He roars in anger. How must I win Adrian? Without her being scared.
Without being scared.
He slammed his fist into the lava. Ow, my fucking hand! He sighed sadly as he breathed in and out. He looked at the lava. Its warm glow was as bright as his own red eyes. He turns away as he heard a voice. Perhaps I could help. Bagan lifts his head up quickly to see a large kaiju standing in front of him. He was no doubt as tall as him. He had gray skin and horns on his chin. Law and head. His eyes were as red as blood. Bagan looks at the kaiju. You! I kicked your ass in match 51!
You 50.
Well, now Monster X is getting some ass.
He asked as the kaiju smirked and handed him what looked like a bottle of some sort. Have her drink this and she'll fall.
Oh.
She'll be madly in love with you.
Oh, this plot.
no.
Okay.
The kaiju
This is-
said as
Magic love potion.
This is going the Bill Cosby route.
it really is. How is this a love story when you're practically already roofing her?
Oh my gosh.
Again, I hope Bagan gets his comeuppance because
Oh,
he's
yeah.
a fucking asshole.
He is a giant asshole. Golly.
Mm.
What's the catch? Bagan asked. No catch, the kaiju replied. Then who do I pay thanks to? Bagan asked, looking at the kaiju who smirked. I already told you there's no catch, dumbass! The kaiju said, walking away and then vanishing.
His name's Ragnarok, apparently. So
Thor
we'll just-
Ragnarok.
Oh boy. So I thought it was Monster X, but I was wrong. I was entirely wrong. But who could blame me? That description matched.
Yeah.
Like how he had a spiky chin, claw, and a head.
And why was... And Monster X wasn't just there.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was the purpose of Monster X appearing earlier?
We'll see. We'll see. Chapter.
To
Okay.
show that he was the law.
Chapter 7. Fear installation. Installation.
I just installed that new game, Fear, into my Gazer, into my Sega Gazer.
Okay. Gazer, meanwhile, was sitting alone. Nemesis went out in search of Bagan, hoping she would bring Gazer justice for what Bagan has done. Gazer, however, never wished Nemesis left, for she knew Bagan would be extremely hard to beat. So far, he's been a giant bitch, if you ask me. Anyway. Gazer sighed and rubbed her face. Why is this happening? I don't understand why I've been having those dreams. Gazer shouts into empty air. She flops onto the couch inside. She subconsciously fell asleep and entered a dream. I'm impressed she subconsciously fell asleep, but what about consciously? Anyway. It was very dark and dreary. Hello? Gazer spoke into the empty void. She walked forward. Is anyone there? She asked, as if on cue, a tail wrapped around her and pulled her backwards. She grasped and struggled. She was turned and was face to face with Bagan! Or a piece of bacon! Gazer's heart rate spun up because of the cholesterol, and as it sped up as quickly as lightning. She tried to turn back away, but the tail pulled her forward. Gazer was shaking all over as Bagan spoke in a sad tone. Why must fate be so cruel to us white people? He reached up and stroked her face. She flicked back. I only wish for you not to be afraid of me. But apparently your friends keep you from seeing the truth, you poor thing. He kisses...
Why must they always like the Chads?
He kisses her head. What? Gazer struggled to get free. Bagan held her close inside. You don't understand why we are connected, my dear. We are destined to be with each other. How desperate, golly. He said as Gazer was shaking. I'm surprised it wasn't shacking. Anyway. She tried to speak, but no words came out. Shh, it's alright, my love. He strokes her cheek. I'll have you soon. What a creep. Gazer jumps up and looks around. She can finally see all around her. She sighed and rubbed her eyes. She started to cry. That could have been shortened to she cried. She didn't want any of this. All she wanted was for it to stop. I'm sorry. All she wanted was it all to stop. But apparently their bond was growing stronger. Stockholm Syndrome, I guess. Gazer held her knees and shook in fear. Meanwhile, Bagan was looking where he had felt Gazer's presence. He sighed. She's still afraid of me.
Stop being creepy.
Yeah!
Again, what the fuck do you expect, dude?
Oh my gosh.
You're at this point, you're basically gonna roofie her.
Yeah, exactly. You got a magic potion from a guy named Ragnarok. You're gonna roofie her ass. He sat down.
To be fair, I would also accept a bottle from a man named after the best Thor movie.
And whose description is Law.
Law!
He sat down. He looked over at the bottle, then frowned his brow at it and growled. He was left with no choice.
Hey, that rhymed.
Yeah. He was left with no choice but to use it on her.
Oh no.
Oh boy. Later, Gazer
Or, you could be a decent kaiju and apologize then. Be nice.
Yeah, you could have
can't.
man up.
He can't. He has to be dramatic.
Yeah, you don't have to take it this far, man.
But how else would he tip his fedora?
Great question. Later, Gazer was sipping tea alone. Nemesis walked into the front door inside. Nothing. Absolutely no trace of him whatsoever. Yeah, 150 meters just gone in an instant. It's like he's made of air. Maybe that describes his characterization. He's so shallow, it's just air.
I mean...
Oh no, wait, guys, Toho removed him from his story. He's being replaced by someone else.
Oh boy, okay.
He's being replaced by Manila.
Alright. She rambles at Gazer looks. Sorry for rambling on you. I'm just worried he'll come back. Nemesis apologizes. Gazer nods. I understand. Gazer looks at her teacup.
Wait,
Where are they getting this
poetic.
tea?
I don't know. Where do they get this? The version bag of the Chad Monster X. That's great.
Alright, my turn?
Yeah, your turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Chapter 8. Gravy's Nightmare Flashbacks. In Gravy's dreams, Gravy was sitting battlefield, bodies of her fellow foods surrounding her. It was shaking in fear, but something large caught her attention. She looked up and saw a large strip of meat with horns and blood-red eyes staring down at her. Gravy gazed up at the food in fear as it suddenly smirked at her. It didn't say anything, but picks her up, holds her, and eats her out. This made her panic out of fear, as she suddenly woke up. End of dream and flashback. Gravy was shaking from the memory. She sighed as she rubbed her eyes. Then she had a vision of when she first told Angel Food Cake and the mozzarella. Flashback. Gravy was walking towards the others, and Angel Food Cake was flying overhead. Gravy looked up, Angel food cake, she called as Angel food cake, starting and looked down. She then looks at her. What's up? Angel food cake asked. There's something I have to tell you, she said in return as she and Ange food cake talking while on the way to Mozzarella. After Gravy told Mozzarella was no doubt worried. That is most concerning. Wait, yeah, I have to read this in a different voice.
That was most concerning. We'll have to keep tabs on your dreams and see what happens.
End flashback. Gravy sighs as she laid down and remembered the dream that she didn't tell anyone about. Not even Nectarine knows about this dream. This was the very first dream. The dream of all dreams, where she only heard a voice. In the dream flashback. So is this a flashback inside of a dream flashback?
Yeah. Well, no.
It's a dream within a dream.
Yeah. So far, we had a dream flashback. We returned to the present. We flashed back. Now we return to the present, and now we're flashing back into a dream.
Is this Inception?
Yeah. This is clearly the montage section of the story. Clearly.
Wait, so
this
what
is
level
clearly.
are we in right now?
Oh man. Keep reading.
This is.
What was that, Joe?
This is.
Okay.
This is clearly what inspired Christopher Nolan to direct Inception.
Yes. Yes. He couldn't make a word out of this fanfic and made Inception. So, Nagoto, please continue.
Gravy was looking around herself. The area around her was completely black, like last time. Gravy. Gravy turns around to the different windows.
Sorry, that was...
Looks around scared as she backs away. Gravy, spoke the voice again. She didn't recognize the male voice. Gravy's heart rate was quickening. Do they really? Wait.
No, they really didn't. They can keep you from me. For I've been searching for you for too long.
The voice echoes through the endless void. Gravy fell to her knees, shaking.
You and I were the same, you know. You don't know Mozzarella is a lunch. Got me to find you.
The voice chuckled. Gravy shook head, trying to block out the voice. It was starting to cry.
Shh. Hush, my lad.
Spoke the voice as she felt a claw stroke her back, making her jump back and whimper as she started to run.
Stop!
The voice boomed, and that's when the invisible ground vanished beneath her and she fell. She tried to fly away, but her wings were cut off. Thus, she fell into the empty void, somehow falling through a black hole and becoming Space Godzilla. End of dream flashback. Gravy was trying to figure out what Bacon meant when he said, "We're connected." The question is, how are they? They never even met until just a few weeks ago. On top of that, has he really been looking for her his whole life? All of these questions made Gravy's head hurt. She rolled to her side onto the mashed potatoes and slowly drifted off the plate, but not before seeing a shadow of Bacon falling in front of her onto the plate, kneeling down.
Kneeling down to her. So, but now we're getting Bagan now, just up on her again. Apparently, second time this has happened. Let's see if Nemesis intervenes again.
Really?
All right, Ditto, you're up.
Oh lord.
Okay. Chapter 9, Bagan's Lair. Bagan knelt down in front of the sleeping gazer. He smiled slightly as he reached up and touched her cheek.
You're
leans
quiet.
How's this?
Oh, that's better. Much better.
Okay. Bagan leans over and kisses her cheek. She was sleeping so peacefully. Bagan then picks her up, carries her out of her home, and towards the volcano.
We're all trying on
Later, Gazer started to wake up from the sudden change in temperature. It was a heck of a lot warmer in her house. She opened her eyes and looked forward to see Bagan grabbing a wet cloth to keep her cool while inside the volcano.
Oh yeah, a wet cloth is totally gonna keep her cool from a volcano.
Yep.
Eat a kaiju-sized wet cloths. Bagan gave a smile, and her heart filled with panic. "Hey, good to see you're awake," he said, reached for her with the wet cloth. She flinched back as he grabbed her gently. No, it's alright. This will keep you cool in here," he said, placing the wet, cold cloth on her head. She looked around scared and smiled, and he smiled. "It's alright, you're safe now," he said gently. As he leans in, she quickly reacts by pull away quickly. Hey, it's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you."
I'm sorry, that line delivery was great.
He said as he
Big
looked
word.
at him scared. Geezer looked around to see the volcano was revamped into a house.
What?
I guess this is what Bagan was doing with his whole life before this moment.
I guess so. Just subconsciously.
Decorating a volcano.
Stockholm syndrome.
Okay. Geezer was shaking as he pulled her towards him and held her close gently. Bag inside. "You had me worried for a moment," he said as she glanced at him. "You were running a fever while we were in here, since you're unused to the heat," Bagan said. "This explains the cloth." Geezer said nothing. As Bagan looks at her, "Geezer, please understand that I'm doing this for us. You're the most important thing to me," he said as he kisses her head. Pulled back, she backs away and held her knees. Bagan sighed and let his arms fall. "Geezer, please don't be like this." He started to approach her. She backs away more and shacks. "I'm doing this for you," said, kneeling down and reaching to touch her cheek. Without any warning, Geezer pushed him away. "Don't touch me," she shouts as Bagan was caught off guard. Bagan then narrows his eye in anger. He grabbed her wrist. She yelps as he pulled her towards him and looked her in the eye. "I'm trying to be nice, but you don't. But if you want my dark side, I'll be glad to show it."
If Bagan spoke to her exactly like that, I think she would die laughing.
You know, you have like the best headcanon voice for this version of Bagan I have ever heard. Oh my god.
Bagan Korg is the best.
Yeah.
Let's see.
He makes it slightly less creepy.
No, he just makes their romance believable.
He just let go. Soon you marry me and move me forever. Bagan growled as Gazer shook in fear. Bagan lets go, walks out of the room. Gazer fell to her knees and held her arms, crying. Her sobs were heard by Bagan, who stopped in front of the closed door. The moment he heard him, Bagan sighed and whimpered, "What have I done?"
Why
I'll
have
do
I...
you one better. Why have I done?
Alright, Joe, you're
Just
up.
goes all Anakin.
Alright.
We're halfway there, boys.
Whoa, we're halfway there, and whoa, Bagan's going to jail. Chapter 10, Bagan's Memories. Bagan was pacing around in anger of why Gazer was refusing his kindness.
You just threatened her last
Hey, he threatened her nicely.
He was only gonna beat her 3 times instead of 5 times this time.
Wait, So, real quick, is this gonna end up like Beauty and the Beast, where they're just gonna walk out into the lava and just start throwing lava balls at each other?
Maybe?
I hope
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
He was growling and getting impatient with his emotions. Pain, anger, edginess, and sadness raged in his mind and heart.
Don't forget hunger.
Yeah, I forgot hunger. Bagan stopped pacing as he sighed. He looks into the room to see Gazer sitting in the bed looking down. Bagan didn't find the courage to speak to her at this moment after what he did. He walks away from the door. And he moves away from the door and walks away. He walks around his volcano home and thought of when he had the first dream about Gazer. Dream flashback. The area around him was a black void. He didn't see anything. He then heard a soft whimper, and he turned to see a small kaiju who was a copper-red female with forest green eyes. She was a sight to behold. He smirked, for he had felt that he had known her name for a long time. Gazer, he whispered, and the female named Gazer turns to him, but looks like she couldn't see him. Gazer, he repeated, reaching for her, but he felt like was spellbound to the floor. He growled, "Do they really think they can keep you from me? For I've been searching for you for too long." I thought this was his first dream.
Yes, this is his first dream.
Is he a baby?
So far, yes!
I've been searching for you since I was in the egg. Or, yeah. His voice echoes through the endless void. Gazer fell to her knees, shaking. "You and I, we're connected. Eternal Mothra doesn't want you to find my love." He chuckled. Gazer shook her head, trying to block out his voice. She was starting to cry. "Shh. Shut the fuck up."
That sounds more believable than what was actually put in there.
Yes! Yes!
He spoke as his claw strokes her back, making her jump back and whimper as she started to run. "Stop!" he boomed, and that's when the invisible ground vanished beneath her and she fell. She tried to fly away, but her wings had failed her. Thus she fell into the empty void. "No!" he shouts as he wakes up. End of flashback. Bagan growled as he looks out. "For too long, Eternal Mothra has denied me my claim. But now," he smirked, "I have her." He chuckled as he looked down at the bottle that Thor Ragnarok gave him. He shook his head. "No, she'll never forgive me," he said, grabbing it and putting it on his room in a secret cabinet.
I'm surprised he didn't use it while she was asleep.
I know!
I thought that's what
Wait,
he
I
did!
just realized something.
What?
I just realized something.
What?
Eternal Mothra is Mothra Leo.
Yeah?
No wonder why he's trying to keep her away from Bagan. He wants her for himself.
Hey! Hey, you're totally right.
Whoever said that at this point, syphilis would be better for Gozer.
Don't you mean gonorrhea?
Hey! Team gonorrhea. Anyway.
There, not there, not. I won't be tempted to use it, he said as he gets up and went to check on Gazer. Meanwhile, Eternal Mothra was worried sick about Gazer. "I must get the girl away from him," she said as suddenly a girl's voice spoke. "I don't suggest that." Eternal Mothra looks and gasped. A tall female-like kaiju that was larger than Bagan stood. She had a Star of David on her shoulder that's contracted against her blue sky scales.
What?
Sky blue scales. And her matching blue eyes. Well, we finally get a description of a monster.
What?
But Lady Andre, Bagan will hurt the poor girl. He has this notion that... Yes. It's Andre the Giant now.
Fair enough.
He has this notion that she and him are connected or some other bullshit. Eternal Mothra was cut off. He's not wrong.
Jesus Christ! She's enabling a fucking abuser and rapist.
Oh my god!
Author, are you okay? I'm legitimately concerned about you now.
In Bill Cosby's defense.
Oh my god.
Oro.
Andre said, the authority of Andre the Giant made Eternal back down. I don't want to hear anything that involves hurting Bagan's chances with Gazer. She said as Eternal Mothra bowed.
And now Mothra's just backing off from the whole thing.
Both of you are as bad as Bagan.
Holy shit! Oh my gosh! Wow, what? What is going on? Alright, so that was...
Holy shit.
Oh man, this is
on the same level as that Pacific Rim and Ruby crossover fic.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I have no regrets about this.
He's not wrong.
Alright, Alex, you're up.
Alright, Gozer's fear realized, chapter 11. Gozer was shaken in fear as she sat at the opposite end of a large table with Bagan on the other end. He was eating and looking at her shaking form. He noticed of how scared looked. He sighed. Hey man, find me scary, don't you?
Second best voice.
That subverted my expectation.
Yes.
He asked as she froze. Oh, how she wished to be honest, but she only sat there. Well, be fucking honest then! Back inside, it stood. Gozer knew she messed up. She tried to back away, but he made it towards her and pulled her into a hug. She froze as he sighed. I know I have a rather unique appearance, but you, man, he said as he looked at her and he touched her cheek. Are the most important creature to me, man. Well, second after Meek.
What about Thor?
Thor's third.
Is it because he got fat?
Yep.
Damn it.
He said, and without warning, he leans in to kiss her. She instant jumps back, shocked, though thankfully Bagan's lips didn't reach Gozer in time. The thought of it terrified her. Bagan looked at her, startled. What was I too forward this time? What was I too forward? He asked, smirking as Gozer went to her room and shut the door closed. Bagan growled as he looks at the empty chair where she once sat in. I will get that kiss, Gozer. My name is Bagan Bill Cosby Toho. He said to himself. Later in the day, Gozer was sound asleep. She seemed untroubled, but that's far from the truth. Bagan opened the door and peeks in. He wanted to make sure she was asleep. He entered the room and closed the door. He walked towards Gozer and leans in. He gently kisses her lips. He pulled away. Good night, my love, he said as he gets up and leaves the room. Later, Gozer wakes up to find the door open. She felt something around her neck, and she looks up to find Bagan's arm around her. She froze and looks back to see him sleeping. Gozer nearly screamed. In fear, she moves slowly away. If I were her, I'd be screaming.
Oh yeah.
Bagan held
Why
herself
can't she fly out of there?
Good question. Why hasn't she flown out?
It's a volcano.
Yeah!
Does he have a roof?
Was
Back
it
in-
under the lava?
Anyway.
Bagan held her close subconsciously. Gozer tenses up in fear as she whimpers. She pulls out his hold slowly as she rushed out of the room. Later, in 2 to 3 hours, Bagan woke up. He saw that Gozer wasn't next to him, and she shots up and looks around. Gosh darn it! He gets out of the room to find her sleeping on the couch.
What?
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 You had
Why did you
you had
escape?
all this time to escape, and you just went out to the couch?
What?
Oh my god!
Well, she's not wrong.
Author, you're seriously giving me a headache here.
Oh,
Stockholm Syndrome, don't you know?
oh my gosh.
He sighed and rubbed his eyes. You just don't really want to be near me, don't you?
I wonder why.
He said to himself as he goes to her and picks her up. He walked her back to her room. Bagan soon had a flashback. Bagan, what have I told you? You are ever going to find her ever. What?
What?
Eternal Mothra sneered as Bagan growled. Descador backs away and leaves. Smart move. Sir, your name's not Bagan. You've been telling me that for too long. Well, no longer will you tamper with our bond, he said in anger as he marched away. He plotted to destroy all Earth out of anger when Eternal Mothra sealed him in the volcano that he could easily escape from, along with another called Gojira.
What?
Bagan
Dude,
vowed
fuck
that
Godzilla.
he made Gojira his prison bitch.
Maybe. We'll see.
Bagan vowed that he will find the one he was bonded with and claim them for himself. It was a dreamless sleep until he had the one dream about the girl, Gozer. End of flashback. Bagan knew it was only a matter of time before Eternal Mothra tries to take her from him. But soon he will marry Gozer. Soon Gozer he will marry. He just stood outside the door. Gozer heard this and grew scared beyond belief.
Wow.
Dude, put a sock in it.
Oh my gosh. So now, oh my gosh, so Descador is involved, and there's Gojira sealed along with Bagan. I'm also glad
Wait,
to know
so
that
does that
we
mean
have
the remakes-
Eternal Mothra specifically, even though that wasn't established at the beginning. So, thank you.
Kaiju
Why
X,
is-
Descador is like Monster X in the story. He's just going to be mentioned for that one chapter.
Yeah, you know what? You're probably right. All right.
He'll be saved. He'll be saved for the sequel.
Please, I hope there's not a sequel.
As far as I'm aware, there isn't, but I hope not.
Okay, good.
Chapter 12, Runaway Bride. Oh boy.
Finally.
Finally.
Gazer plot to escape. The idea of marriage once Bagan was sleeping. Okay, plot to escape the idea of marriage once Bagan was sleeping. You mean like the thing you did last night, but then wound up going on the couch, even though you had 2 to 3 hours? Ugh.
She wasn't wronged.
She was
She
scared.
was tired.
She was scared to get caught, but that didn't stop her from running away. Once nightfall hit, Gazer slits out, damn, out of the door and ran. Gazer, now she's doing it. Why couldn't this happen last chapter? Oh, what the hell? Gazer ran as fast as she can. She didn't look back, but she heard the god-awful roar of rage course through the air. Gazer opened her wings and flew into the air. There, she's flying!
This bitch.
Leaving the crowd behind her. That's when she was grabbed by the foot and she gasped. She looked back to see Bagan having a hold on her foot. Holy shit, this dude's fast. Gotta go fast indeed.
He's
Don't you remember he's a
big.
ninja from the
Did you really think you could get away from me, my dear? He smirked as Gazer flaps her wings in fear and trying to get away. Bagan growled and threw her towards the ground. What? This is how you handle your loved one?
This is abuse.
This is abuse, yes! She lands onto her back somehow, and she felt a sharp pain in her wing. She tried to move it and realized that her wing was broken. Holy shit.
So, Gozer, what happened to your wing? I fell down some stairs.
But you didn't fall down, so I'll toss you down a flight. She whimpers as she tried to run away. Bagan grabbed her non-injured wing and she yelps. Gazer struggled as they stopped when they heard shrieking. Gauss. Oh wow, so this is a thing now. Bagan's deep growl shook Gazer to her core. She struggled as Bagan looks around for the Gauss. Gazer finally pulled free and ran as fast as she possibly could. I don't think she's gonna make it though, because that Bagan's pretty quick. She didn't get far, however, when the Gauss swarmed around her. She backs away, afraid as no one... Holy shit. It just dawned on me. This really is Beauty and the Beast. The Gauss are the wolves!
This is a more abusive Beauty and the Beast.
Yes! And now this is going to be the part where Bagan's going to come in and then freaking... Well, this is my... I'm not even reading the rest of it right now. My bet is Bagan's going to come in, save her, and she's going to start trusting him. Watch.
At the end, it's going to turn out Bagan was Gojira.
Maybe.
Wait, he has to get shot first, though.
We'll see.
I hope.
She backs away, afraid, as one tackled and pinned her down. She gasped and screamed. Bagan heard this and instantly went into full-blown rage. He roars out in rage. The description you just used last, not even 4 words ago. He used his horn beams. Oh, cool, you actually used that. Congratulations. To blast the surrounding Gauss into dust. He charged...
Congratulations, Arthur. That's the one praise that you're gonna get from Kaiju X.
Yep, any sort of like minor nods like that, or it's like, okay, you know, like, cause Bagan does have a horn beam, like, legit. At least according to like his anatomy description. He never uses it, but he has
Really?
into dust. He charges forward. The Gauss that had surrounded Gazer and were trying to drag her away. Bagan swatted them away with his tail, and he stood over Gazer's injured form. I wonder why she's injured, huh? He looked down and saw that there were large...
If only she could fly.
Yeah, I know, right? If he didn't have to break her wing! And saw that there were large gashes on her. Bagan growled and looked to the Gausses. They knew Bagan was pissed. He roars out and blasts out a hot plasma from his own maw. The surviving Gauss made a hasty retreat. Bagan huffs and looks at Gazer's unconscious form. He rushed to her and picked her up gently and rushed to get her up, not realizing he had his own injuries to have patched up. You got injuries from that? I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident the Gauss didn't do a darn thing to really hurt him. It was Bagan that just wiped their asses.
He hurt his legs from running.
Okay, I'll accept that.
And he lost his fedora while he was shooting his horn beam.
Yeah, fair enough. Alright, he rushed to her and picks her up gently, and he rushed to get her up, not realizing he had his own injury shot. Okay, that's where I was. Bagan made a quick pace turn slow. I love the way that's structured. For he was looking his consciousness through blood loss. Okay, so he was looking his consciousness through blood loss. That makes perfect sense. He soon collapses and drops Gazer. Worried, he looks to Gazer as she was facing him. He reaches out to touch her face, but something comes up and picks her up. Bagan loses consciousness, causing everything went black. Okay, so not quite what I was expecting, but alright. Nagoda, you're up.
Okay. Chapter 13, Awakening. Bagan slowly woke up to find the sun blinding him. He opened his eyes to find that it wasn't the sun, but a light. Confused, he gets up, but wince due to his recent injuries he had acquired by himself. He moved the light away and saw that Gazer was on the bed next to him.
What the?
Bagan quickly moved and headed towards her. Wait, how?
I think we're gonna be seeing that in a little bit.
I do not advise you to move, spoke an elegant voice. Bagan froze in place. He turns to find a tall male, taller than all the others, with a Star David on his shoulder. Bagan bows in response of the Alpha's presence. Andre the Giant, have you been watching the happenings of life? He asked as he nods. Everything you've been up to, he said as he lowered his head. I hope you forgive me, he asked with a lowered head. I'm not mad at you, Andre said as he looked up shocked. I am disappointed in you, however. You're trying to force love when it's never meant to be forced.
Weren't you just supporting their love earlier?
Yes, yes, you were. What a double-sided
He's not wrong.
hypocrite.
Arashi continued as Bagan looked at Gazer. She was sleeping. Then what am I supposed to do? He asked as he looked at her. Give her time. Have her get to know you. The real you. Not this BS kidnapping psychopathic version. Hide away your dark side, Arashi said as he looked at her. Arashi looked at him as he sighed and rubbed his face. I don't think you'll like the real me, he said as he looked down. She reached down and lifted his chin. You may never know, she said as she turns and leaves. Bagan suddenly wakes up. It turns out to be a out-of-body experience when it comes down to it. He shakes his head as he looks over to see Gazer wide awake. She was looking out the window, her green eyes glistening in the sun's rays that hit them. Bagan, as breathless as he was in awe of her, he gulps as Bagan gets up. Are you okay? He asked. She quickly looks over, eyes widened with fear. Hey, it's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you, he said, approaching her.
That's a lie.
How many times has he injured her already?
Too many to count.
Yeah.
Are we talking physically or mentally?
Both.
Both.
Both are
Both.
equally
Oh yeah,
bad,
too
so-
many.
Too many.
Gazer shakes in fear. Bagan took her hands gently, and she looked surprised.
But surprised.
My new favorite word.
Look, I'm sorry for hurting you, he said as he held her hands. I had a reality check late, he said.
I've had a reality check late. Oh man, that's good. That's good.
Gazer looked at him confused. Bagan looked at her fearful eyes. I know we got off to a bad start because I don't know how to stop being creepy. Please, just give a chance to make it better, he asked as he held her hand. She was hesitant to say yes or no. She didn't know what to say, because her wing was broken still. Bagan sighed. Please, can we start over? He asked. As he had hopeful eyes, something nobody had ever seen before. Bagan isn't supposed to have hope, he's supposed to be terrifying.
He's supposed to be edgy. Exactly like Batman.
Gazer looked at him and sighed. No. And with that, question in his heart. Gazer was surprised and was feeling her face. Hey, Kajo actually guessed it right. And feeling her face heat up.
Alright, yep.
He's face fucking her?
Oh.
Oh my gosh! Ditto! That first line. Oh
What?
boy.
Little-
Alright, Ditto, you're up!
What chapter? Wait, what chapter?
14.
14.
Okay, I'm on the right.
Gentleman.
Gentleness.
Are we
Gentlemaness.
gonna sing now?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see here. Chapter 14, Gentleness.
Oh, you're a little quiet. Could you speak up a little?
Hey, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, Chapter 14, Gentleness. A few months.
No, that's a
What?
few
Few
mouths
mouths.
have passed.
A few months.
Man, and I thought I had a reality check late was good. A few mouths have passed is better.
Oh my gosh. Okay. A few mouths have passed. Bagan was pacing nervously, waiting for Gozer, since she decided to give him a change. He was extremely nervous. Bagan twiddled his thumbs while waiting. His thoughts were all over the place when it came down to what Gazer will think of if he messed up. He rubbed his face, groaning in frustration. Is something wrong? Gazer's voice rang through his ears and looked wide open. No, I was just waiting, he said nervously. Gazer smiled at him. Bagan blushes red. Oh my gosh. Gazer had walked towards their destination. Bagan was nervous. He had never been so nervous before, until now. Okay. He and Gazer went to the beach. They sat there, and Bagan looked at her and rolled the back of his neck, nervous. He didn't know what to say or do. That's when he heard what? He saw something move in the bushes. He looked to see a small skull crawler. Okay. Bagan growled as Geyser kneels down to it, looks at her and tilted its head, smiled and picked it up. It whimpers. It had a 3 stuck in its teeth.
Apparently. What? I guess like the little magnetic threes.
Just a little 3.
3 of 3.
Okay. Gazer gently pulled it out. It licks the spot and nuzzles her gently. Oh my.
What
You're
spot?
welcome, little one.
Oh no.
Oh no, not little one.
I'm sorry, little one.
Thanos.
You know what's sad?
Gazer-
That
What?
Skullcrawler could probably satisfy a Gozer way better than Bagan could.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Apparently, the little skull crawler's the bird. I don't know.
It ate a 3.
I want this to be over.
It'll be over soon, my son.
Okay, let's see.
By that, we're only halfway
Bagan.
there.
It only takes a little bit of kindness, the Gazer said, smiling. A good lesson to learn from a beautiful and living girl like yourself. Bagan says Gazer blushed. The two headed towards the ocean. Gazer looked down her feet. She was scared that Bagan might be possessive like he was prior. Bagan looked at her, noticed him looking away from him. He instantly knew why. He gently took her hand and held it. Looked at him surprised. She was surprised at how gentle he was. This made Gozer smile and looks at the ocean. Bagan was debating what to say, but he soon leans over and kisses her cheek, making her blush red in surprise. Bagan smiled at her, blushed as he leans away. Then a blast hit him in the back. What? Gazer Godzilla.
Yes.
Is Godzilla.
Finally, the plot returns.
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally, Bagan will get his ass kicked.
Oh no, are we at the end of the movie now? He got shot in the back.
We'll see.
I hope.
Your tyranny of overbag.
My tyranny of what?
You won't get away with Geezer ever. Godzilla shouts. The monsters growl in agreement.
Oh, yes, sir.
Roser was conflicted on what to do. Geezer looks back and forth if the two until an unexpected voice show up. What's going on in here?
Oh man. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be. Oh, this is. I'm about to end this whole man's tyranny. That's good. I love that meme. Alright, Joe, you're up.
I'm ready. Does anyone care to explain to me what the heck is going on here?
Oh yeah, chapter 15, Queen of the Monsters. Continue.
Nobody wants to know the chapter title.
Oh god, why won't this end?
I shout enraged.
Wait, what?
Gazira and the other kaiju kneel. Your Majesty, you've returned for your trip. Gazira said.
Wait.
By the look, why is this in first person?
Is this the author?
I think this is the author!
Oh no.
Oh my god.
I'm more than ready to read this.
Go, go!
This turned from great to better.
Why?
You know it is because Alex is breaking!
Why? God. And just like that, Morning Reads is cancelled.
Yep. It was canceled as soon as it came back. Just like the Paul Reiser show.
Alright, continue, Joe.
Or Roseanne. Gonzira said. By the look on my...
By the look on... racist tweets.
By the look on my face, I can tell he was trying to sugarcoat it. Gonzira sighed. No, the plan of sugarcoating it was pointless. I crossed my arms and tapping my finger. We were going to stop him from hurting Gazer. No, wait, that was Godzilla. Fuck. We were going to help him from hurting Gazer, Godzilla said. I arched my brow. And you think that was a good idea? I said rather blankly. Godzilla lowered his head. Not now, no. He said ashamed. The other monsters looked ashamed. I'm ashamed. I want you all back at my place in 5 minutes. You all will be punished accordingly.
What?
What is going on?
Oh my gosh!
Oh my lord. I said as they all nodded and left, leaving Gazer and Bagan shocked. I looked at them. I am very sorry for this. I'll make sure this never happens again. I said as Bagan bows. Thank you, my lady.
Oh my gosh, the plot is on his side!
He said as he tips his fedora. Please, call me Courtney. I said as Bagan looked at me and smiled. Gazer smiled at this and I nod. By the way, I ask you, Bagan, do you know one by the name of Descador?
Oh, he came back.
I asked as he looked shocked. Yes, I do. Does he live here on the island? He asked as I smirked and nod. He lives not far from here. I can take you to him, I said. Bacon smiled and bows. It would be an honor.
A honor.
It would be an honor. He said as I smiled. This is get going then, I said, walking away. The two followed me. We walked a good long waves until we heard something in the brush. Gazer was getting nervous. Bagan was curious. A small fox child emerged from brush. It was a female. It was a female whose coat was at white as snow.
Female what? Female what?
It was a female
Fox.
Okay. Oh yeah.
fox child. Why how's little snow? I said as the child smiled. Hello, Mrs. Courtney, she said with a big smile. Bagan was shocked as Gazer awed. Is the Discadora home?
What is
What?
I asked us.
Did he marry a fox?
Mrs. Courtney. Okay, I have to know.
Oh god, the author's a furry.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh!
Remember, kids, furries don't deserve rights. And like one of my favorite movies, Starship Troopers said, the only good furry is a dead furry.
Oh, God.
I'm doing my part.
Good on you, soldier.
Where the heck?
Yeah, but
Alright.
where the heck are the what?
I was saying, where the heck are we? I think is Descador home?
Oh yeah. I asked as Snow's bright smile faded. Yeah, but he's a little sexually frustrated. She said sad. I arched my eyebrows. And why is that? I'll have to write him out of this damn story. I asked. Miss Eternal is trying to take me away from my dad again. She said. I rubbed my eyes. Is Miss Eternal the mom?
I think Miss Eternal's supposed to be Eternal Mothra from earlier, so I guess
I know. But is she the mom
I have no
of the
idea.
child?
I have no idea.
Who the fuck is her dad, though?
The dad must be Descadora. Who's the mom?
the world may never know.
The world? Oh. I'm guessing it's Eternal Mothra.
We'll figure out soon enough.
But I don't know how a dragon and a moth make a fox.
Alright, let's keep reading.
Don't worry. Oh, this is the 5th time that she's done this. I grumbled. Don't worry, little one. I'll get to the bottom of this. I said as she smiled once again. Descadora came rushing over. Snowpig, you're alright. I thought you were. Descadora stopped mid-ramble when he saw Bagan. Bagan? Is that you? He asked. Yep, in the flesh. Bagan smiled. Descador smiled, and Bro hugged him. Snow smiled as I smiled also. I'm not smiling.
I am. Just more out of laughter, if anything else. Oh. Are you... No! No! No!
It's a found the remake.
Yes.
Okay, one.
Fuck.
I'm gonna say this: we're not gonna be reading that version.
Yeah, no, we are not fucking reading the second part where this is
Version
already
2.
killing me.
Oh my
Right.
gosh!
No, we have to read it. There are songs.
Oh my.
Joe, I will.
No,
Oh,
please.
I don't even know if this one I don't have.
We should have just done that one. That was only 3 chapters.
Oh,
long.
Alex, what a great idea! Restarting the morning reads. Oh, this was great. Yeah, I completely missed this. Now I remember why I stopped.
Alex must overcome his greatest fear, and his character arc will be complete. Oh my gosh! All right, dude. Don't worry, man. You just have one final round. This is basically the final stretch. Oh.
Oh, that was the end of the chapter, right?
Yeah, chapter 15. Yeah, that's the end of that one. So we're on chapter 16. Balance of power.
Balance of power. Bagan was nervous, more nervous than he had ever been in his horrible lifetime. Turtle Mothra had attempted to sabotage the bond between him and Gozer before he and Gozer even met in person. The memory still burned into Bagan's mind and made him angrier than a rabid dog. Gozer knew Bagan and her would have to face the Turtle Mothra, but she had no idea it would be so soon. Don't worry, Bagan, everything is going to turn out fine, Gozer said. Bagan said nothing. He aimed to focus on what to say to Eternal Mothra. Gozer soon took his hand, then immediately got his attention. He looks over to her, he looked at his hand and soon closed his large fingers around her small hand. I'm just afraid, he said. He made her realize that he's shaking. Gozer hugged him. He was shaking more as he wrapped his arms around her and held her close. I'm scared of losing the one thing that kept me going, he said, shaking. Shit's okay now. Everything will be alright. Queen Wolfzilla and Lady Arashi. Ah, fuck. Another character.
As if we don't have enough characters.
Is Courtney Queen Wolfzilla? I'm gonna assume.
Author's furry confirmed, and that's bad.
Oh, Lord.
Are going to work this out, I promise. Gozer said, looking at him and smiling. Bagan gave a soft smile, the first one he's done in so long. He kissed her gently, making her blush. Arashi and I peeked in and waved them to join us. Bagan and Gozer stood up gently. Gozer held his hand gently to keep him calm. This worked in the long run. Bagan held her hand gently. I sat up on my throne with Arashi and Gigan at my side.
What did change perspectives?
Unless I is a character. At this point, Kaiju X, I can't reason with this anymore.
Fair enough.
I sat up on my throne with Arashi and Gigan outside. Bagan and Gozer stood on one side while the doors opened and Eternal Mothra hovered in. It didn't take Bagan long to get from nervous to angry. You called me Courtney. Eternal Mothra asked at me. I growled as my ears pinned back. I quickly calmed myself as I sat on my throne. Yes, I did. I started as Eternal Mothra glanced over at Bagan and Gazer immediately till the Eternal Mothra's once radiant glow is no longer there. Bagan knew that a seed of envy was in Eternal Mothra's heart. A seed that only will grow more to punishment for Bagan, my lady. I don't see him. The Eternal Mothra said, glancing back at me, and narrowed my eyes and stood from my throat. I walked towards her. Why questioning her? Arthur looked awfully offended at my question. He is a monster, a Mongol, and most importantly, she was cut me off of the slap. Bagan was shocked that I was able to have the guts that pull. Now listen here, either I put you in jail or grow up and leave them alone. Jesus Christ, I said, and I better not catch you either trying to hurt Bagan or desk to understand. I am the you can leave, I said as quickly she flew quickly.
This is a self-insert.
Oh, this is so self-insert. I was not expecting that. Oh my gosh.
Honest, guys.
Yeah.
I think I might give this the same treatment as Ultra Girl Maya and her Time Lord Doctor. I may only put some effort in this and then
oh no,
just leave it as a beat because this is killing me.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't worry. I think that was the last chapter you had to read.
No, what I mean by editing.
Oh, all right.
Oh yeah.
Bagan was walking with Gazer to the marketplace. Gazer was admiring all the flowers. Bagan watched her and smiled. He looks away and towards the marketplace. Gazer followed after him. She reached over and grabbed his hand to catch up to him. Bagan stiffened and looked at her. He smiled and held her gently. Gazer smiled. The kaiju of Monster Island watched them. Some gave Gazer an angry and threatening look. Bagan was having none of that. He wrapped his hand on Gazer's shoulder. Gazer glanced up at him as Bagan looked down at her. He soon glared at the kaiju, who backed away from him as he gave a piercing stare. Gazer stood there as the kaiju leave, making her sigh in relief. Bagan sighed as well and looked over as Gazer. He took her hand gently, and they walk off to find a place to stay. Later, Gazer was sleeping on her bed. Bagan was on the couch, looks up. Everything seemed too surreal to him, to me as well. He couldn't help but smile at all this happened, because the plot was on his side. He then thought of Gazer. He gets up and went to check on her. He opened the door and peeked in. He saw her sound asleep. He smiled and approached her. He leans in and kisses her gently. Once he didn't smile and went back out of her room. He gently closed the door and went to go to sleep. Later in the morning, he soon wakes up looks around because he yawns. He sniffed the air to smell food. He smiled to himself as he looked and saw Gazer cooking some meat or something to eat. He gets up to his feet and went to her. He wrapped his arms around her. "Good morning," he said, as she looked and smiled. "Morning." Bagan kisses her cheek and went to go get some water. It was really early in the morning, a bright new day for a bright new future. Bagan smoked a small grin.
I remember what it was like to laugh.
Wait, just like Bagan, I also smelled something.
Oh boy.
I smell bullshit.
He remembers his vow he made years ago, so I guess that's how long it's been, to find Gazer and made sure she was his. Wow, what? Years? Dang. Alright. He glanced at Gazer. That's when realization hit him. He did achieve his goal, and he was now the one he was meant to be with. This fact made him smile. Later, Gazer and Bagan were eating. Everything was calm and peaceful. Gazer reached to grab her drink, but knocked the glass off the table, making it shatter. Gazer yelped as it cut her foot. She could have flown above it, though, since it's been years and I'm sure her wings healed up by then. Bagan immediately...
No, it's so broke.
Bagan immediately reacts, but getting the cut wrapped. Alright. Gazer whimpers and winced as he cleaned it. He picks her up and takes her to the couch, bridal style. I haven't heard of that one before, but alright. This makes her blush. Once he got the cut wrapped up, he went to pick up the glass shards. He had pretty tough skin, so it didn't hurt him. There.
Use a broom, you animal.
There, that's better, he said as he threw away the glass. He went to Gazer. "You okay, Gazer?" he said as Gazer nodded. She kisses him, making him blush. She looked at him and smiled. "Thank you," she said before getting up and going to the bathroom, leaving the stunned Bagan.
I'm stunned that Bagan can decorate his whole house, but he can't afford a broom.
Right. The next part is just the drawing, so we'll just skip over that.
Let me read it anyway.
Just put the image. Yeah, just put the images in the video, and we'll call it good.
I'll do something with them.
All right.
Oh.
I'm gonna read it anyways.
Well, no. Chapter 19.
No, please, no.
Chapter 19, man.
Chapter 19, hurry this up.
I the pictures, though,
son, do you want me to die?
I mean, it does have pictures of Bagan in human form, so I'm gonna just click next.
Come on, Nogoda. Chapter 19. We can admire the pictures later.
Bagan was sitting alone. Gravy had left to go hang out with Nemesis, to go hunt down some star members. He looked at his hand.
Nagoda, could you speak up a little more? You're a little quiet.
Oh, the microphone fell out. Okay, is this better?
Yeah, much better.
Okay. Bagan was sitting alone. Gazer had left to go hang out with Nemesis to go hunt down some members of the stars. He looked down at his hand. In his hand was a ring. He sighed as he looked down, cursed to die in 7 days. After what I put the poor thing through, I'm just surprised she likes me at all, he said, looking down. He went to visit my back in first person apparently, my palace, while I, meanwhile, was training. I punched the punching bag called Eternal Mothra. I hear someone walked in. I look over to see Bagan. I smiled, but I soon see— why is so many eyes? But I soon seen his doubtful face. What's the matter, buddy? I asked as he looks over to me inside. Another more eyes. I'm going to ask gravy to eat, he said, as I'm tired of these eyes. Smiled. That's great, Bagan. You do not deserve happiness. You need to stay angry all the time. Like Batman. I said. He sighed. But I'm afraid she'll say no, 'cause after all, I put her through and broke her wing. I'm just surprised she even likes me, he said. I have more eyes. Frown. What? Okay. My brows in a sad manner. I felt bad because he too has been through rough times, and he too deserves to be not happy. I walked towards him. This is way too many eyes. Bagan, I'm going to be honest with you. You are a horrible person. Gazer doesn't deserve you. I have no idea what happened in your past, and by God, I'm going to say that. The past may hurt, but the future will hurt more. Well, that was only the start of your tragedy, I said, smiling. He looks at me with tears. This may be the first time I've seen him cry. It's just Eternal Mothra keeps mocking me, saying I'll never be happy. I hated it every time he said it. He said, crying. I immediately became happy. I honestly had no idea just how toxic Mothra Leo became after he became immortal.
Oh yeah,
I do not—
Eternal Mothra's the toxic one.
Bad things can happen to those who pray for them, I said. Bagan sobs. Later, he walked towards his home to find Descadora destroying it. Descadora flew overhead with snow on his back. Bagan! He shouts. Bagan stopped and looked behind him. I challenge you to a death battle. I need you to do me a huge favor. You see, I'm going on a date, and I need you to watch this weird fox that calls me her parents for some reason, he said as Bagan nodded. I would be happy to, he said as Descadora smiled, not seeing Bagan smirking like a pedophile in the background. Later, Bagan returned home to see Gravy attempting to escape out of the caged window. She looked at me with fear. Hey, she said as Bagan smiled. Snow looks over at her. Gravy looks back and smiled happily. As the night went on, Gazer was reading to Snow the fox, who watched her flip the pages.
Alex is dying. Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Bagan watched them with a smile. He looked at the Ring video that he planned on proposing with. He took a deep breath and remembered my words. He approached Gazer and snapped her neck. He looked at the book, and it was more or less a pop-up book. Snow watched as Gazer fell over with a broken neck, bleeding on the floor. And so, the big bad Bagan will blow the little pig's house down. Bagan read. Bagan prepared himself. No, he started as he hummed in his
Oh.
He grabbed the ring and opened his closed hand. You will die in 7 days, he asked, looking at her. She was shocked. Snow sensed the moment and attempted to escape. Bagan was speechless, but then he started to tear up. Why would no one love him? She then threw herself onto Bagan, screaming, No, she shouted. Bagan started to cry, relieved. Gazer looked at him and died promptly.
Alright, the end. Alright, that was a terrible
Yeah.
Bye!
Honestly, yeah, I don't like. I think all of it's
This
just
is really long.
so far. I'm looking through the other stuff. It doesn't seem like there's any. Like they talk about Eternal Mothra, but I don't think there's anything that. Oh, no! Eternal Mothra
Where
just
are
tried to
we?
crash the party. Wow, what a great time to bring in that conflict. Oh gosh.
Where are we?
Oh man.
Are we done?
There are like objectively 2 more chapters, but ugh, golly. Yeah, honestly, I'm not even sure if I could take any more of this. I'll be
Yeah,
Oh, we were at the
I'm
question.
done.
Yeah. Wait, what?
I'm not strong enough.
Yeah, well, you're doing the next chapter after that.
I thought we were at chapter 20.
Yeah, we are at chapter 20.
We are at chapter
So
20.
we're almost.
Oh, okay. We're in the end game now.
Alright.
Oh, okay,
Well,
actually, no. Chapter 20 is the last one. The one that the Bagan's Hellfire thing is just a prologue story. So we actually don't need to read that.
Oh no.
So congratulations, that's one less chapter to read, and we're on the last stretch. So
It's all you.
I thought it was Joe. Or who just read?
I think it's Ditto. It's on Ditto.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
Ditto.
So it's all on
It
you,
is me?
Ditto. Give us chapter 20, Wedding and New Edition.
Wait, it is me?
Yep, it is you. You
Yep.
get to finish it
Yes,
off.
sir.
Alright, here we go. Chapter 20. Bacon was extremely nervous. He was getting married.
He's getting
Married.
hitched.
Married to the love of his life. A girl of his dream. Quite literally. He paced the floor back and forth. Nemesis was with Gazer getting ready for her big day. I was with Bagan, trying to stop him from getting cold feet. Bagan, the only way you know what? Bagan, the only way you know this is right is when you look down the altar and see her for the first time in her dress. Gaigan spoke, you guys. I smiled, because I knew how he feel when we got married. Bagan said, it's not that far from it. It's Eternal Mothra. What if she tries to ruin it? He said. Now I truly understand. Don't worry about her. I got that covered. Just locked up in a closet. Bagan looked rather confused. Meanwhile, let me in. Let me in! Eternal Mothra was having a hard time getting past my guard. Anguinus, Godzilla, and Rodan. Sorry, you're not allowed in here, Rodan said as he growled. Under whose orders? Angrily shouted. Queen Courtney and King Gaigan.
Alright, that
Rodan
explains that, I
State.
guess. Not an independent
Rodan.
queen, but, she has a king. Alright.
What? Rodan states as Eternal growled. Grr. The Escadora walks up with Snow. Next to him was a female with fins, blue-violet eyes, and scales. Well, welcome to Escadora, Godzilla said, letting the trio in. Eternal was throwing a fit. Bagan was watching this from the window. He was dying of laughter. That's smart, he said to me. I smiled. Later, Bagan was waiting at the altar. Everyone waited for the bride to come. Meanwhile, he was checking in on Geezer. How's the bride? I asked Nemesis as he looks and smiles. She steps aside to reveal Geezer all dolled up. I smile, cover my mouth happily. I felt like a mom. You look amazing, I said as she smiled. She did a bow. Thank you, Queen Courtney. As I knew something was missing, a guard walked in and whispered, "They're here." That's not right. They're here in my ear. I smiled and nodded to him. Nemesis and Gazer looked confused. I may have invited some of your family. Gazer smiled brightly. The wedding was starting and Gazer walked out to the altar. I stood at the altar to unify Gazer and Bagan. She was about to walk towards us when suddenly a tall, two-headed kaiju emerged. Gazer looked... Oh, never mind. The large kaiju was her father. I had no idea he was that big. Gazer's father walked towards the altar, kissed his daughter's head. Gazer smiled. Gazer took Bagan's hand as he started the service. Do you, Bagan, take Gazer as your wife? As he smiled. I do. I looked at Gazer. Do you take Bagan as your husband? I do. I smiled and then pronounced you two, husband and wife. Bagan smiled and kissed her. Everyone shared. Hoopla.
Nagoda, I think the chicks are fucking ugly and they suck. Please unleash Nagar and kill me.
Oh my gosh. 13
ugly, they suck.
months later. Bagan was pacing once again, only for something different. Oh my no. Gazer was in the delivery room having their child. I don't know.
This.
I don't know.
I don't like where this is going.
I'm scared of losing her. Both her and the baby. Bagan said, Demogorgon stands. I understand, but you must have faith, he said. Bagan took a deep breath and nodded. Nemesis walks in. Hey, Bagan, he said as both Bagan and Demogorgon looked. Meet your son. Bagan smiled and nods. He entered the room. Gazer looks at him for a moment and back at the newborn. Bagan smiled and kisses Gazer's head. You did great, babe. The baby was a combination of both Bagan and Gazer. What should we call him? Alvar? Alvar would be his name. As Bagan smiled. A perfect name, Bagan said as baby Alvar walked. Young. The happy call smelled the new baby boy. Bagan looked at the window. He saw his reflection and realized he had everything he wanted. And more. The end.
The lesson here is, be a giant asshole, you'll get what you want eventually. Only once you reconcile.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, for those reading along with the... Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was much needed. Make sure that's in the video, dude. Make sure that's in the video.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, last chapter's not much. It's apparently Hellfire from Disney. Yeah, we're not missing much here, believe me.
No.
Yeah, we are. Like, I would
gladly sing it though.
I wouldn't mind singing it, but not now. Not at a much later time. Oh my gosh. This was I think there was it took longer for me to stop laughing at it than Alex checked out long ago. Oh my gosh.
I know I say this a lot, but this might be the worst thing I've read.
To completion. I think this is the worst thing we've read to completion, is what I'll...
And we're talking about the Pacific...
I don't think so. I don't think we finished up Maya.
Yeah, and we're talking about that and the Pacific Rim and Ruby crossover.
I think the thing that really... the self-insert was just such a sudden... that was so sudden. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
bad.
That was probably the last big laugh the story got out of me. Just because it was like, everything was at least stupid, but told in the third person. Then you self-insert yourself into the story. That said, I think after the self-insert, I think it just kind of became like everything was just going to go in Bagan's favor. Like, I think any sort of conflict or whatever there may have been, it was just kind of flushed down the toilet the moment self-insert was brought in. So,
Yep.
But as you were saying, Alex, I thought you were going to say something.
I'll say this. The authors for the other two fics that I mentioned, they're awful. They're awful people. But I can't blame them because we did this on our own accord.
Yes.
This author, however, you're an asshole for making us read this.
You requested this to us. We have read it accordingly. Oh man.
Thank you for hurting my sanity.
You're making me reconsidering cancel. You're making me considering canceling this again.
Oh my god.
Do they at
Because
least
of
know
how
it's
broken
bad?
I am.
Oh man.
Do they at least know it's bad?
I have no idea. That's the part that kind of scares me a little bit, is that I'm not...
I mean, you don't recommend this expecting us to love it.
Right.
Well, not only that, but this is also coming from the same person who expects Bagan for us to love Bagan, even though he's an asshole
Right.
the majority of the time.
Right, there was nothing... Yeah, nothing happened this... Like, there was that one point... There was just that one point where it was like, okay, someone called out on Bagan shit. Okay, alright. But the turnaround was way too quick. Way.
And somehow Mothra is toxic.
Yes. Despite the fact that she was the one doing the reasonable thing in the first half of the story. But then all of a sudden became the bad guy? I'm like, what?
Remember, she's not wrong.
That was another golden line right there. Oh my gosh. Just enabling them. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this was... Oh, man.
Oh, lordy.
Yeah, I have a feeling the writer is expecting us to legitimately like this. Let me put it this
Even
way.
though he or she told us to do it for morning reads.
Yes. Which, I mean, is mostly of fanfics that we laugh at because they're bad.
But now we're really
Or grown at.
Yeah, exactly. So, oh my gosh, yeah, this...
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. This makes even the weakest of the KWCs look like high standard. I'm just gonna put that out there.
No, this makes 164 look like Shakespeare writing.
Yeah! Oh man.
How do you mean it's not?
This makes Grand King Ghidorah running away in match 56 justified.
This makes Bagan vs. Destroy a pretty plain and boring match look like a superb, unique masterpiece.
This makes 202 look not as bland.
This makes SpaghettiOs look like Olive Garden.
But yeah, this was awful. Honestly,
This makes gonorrhea feel painless.
oh, there's
Yeah, you're right. I nothing could beat the SpaghettiOs one.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That SpaghettiOs one was freaking good.
Nagoto, what were your thoughts?
What? I forgot what we were doing. I'm tired.
Okay, Ditto.
Aren't we all?
Oh my god.
I'm just...
Yeah, the story was just
don't know.
like... Yeah, the story, like, at least this version that we read is just super incompetent. So much poor spell, like, don't even get me started on the lack of punctuation marks. There are so little of them, I completely forgot that they weren't there.
Wait, Kaiju X, did you say black?
I said lack. So I could...
No, Kaiju X, I'm pretty sure you're racist now.
Oh.
We're gonna have to kick you out.
Oh.
You're getting replaced.
Alright, Joseph, since Kaiju X was being racist, he lost his speaking turn. What did you think of this?
This was terrible. I hated every second of this, other than the headcanon that Bagan's a nice guy.
The real question is, which is worse, this or Ultra Girl Maya?
Ooh.
Ultra Girl. I think Ultra Girl Maya was worse because that was so long. But this, like, it's long, but in short bursts.
Yeah.
But every chapter in Ultra Girl Maya felt like a novel.
Yeah. Totally. So it was like at least we were making pace going through the chapters. There were just a lot of chapters to get through, though. That's the thing.
I will say, at least in Ultra Girl Maya, characters get introduced.
Yeah, like what happened to Ragnarok? I know I'm on like mute racist speaker. But what happened to Ragnarok?
What happened to Monster X?
Yeah.
What happened to the law? And why didn't it arrest Bagan?
Oh my gosh.
The biggest question is, weren't Godzilla and the rest of his friends gonna kick Bagan's ass? And then that next chapter was the self-insert.
The self-insert.
Yep. They got punished.
Yeah, apparently they got punished. So they got punished because they were trying to do the right thing.
What was it? 50 Shades of Grey punishment?
I don't know. Maybe.
You know.
Oh no.
I think I've reached something.
A conclusion.
A conclusion of sorts.
All right.
For all these years, I've been belittling Toho for their 4 recent movies, and then I look at this, and I realize maybe I was being too hard on Toho. maybe I set my I was just being an asshole, and maybe I'll look at them and go, you know, those are good first drafts. While the Bride of Bagan is a good pile of steaming shit. I think I reached enlightenment at this point.
Well, I'm glad you joined the party with the rest of us, man. Oh my gosh.
And you know, maybe, just maybe, Haru was right.
Oh, I got the perfect picture for this.
Oh.
Haru didn't die for this.
All you want is to kill Godzilla. Oh my gosh. Man,
Nagoda. At this point, yes, I think we Godzilla, because if we killed Godzilla, this would never have happened. This story would have never been made.
Oh gosh. Man, that freaking Dr. Yamane quote should just be a meme for all time. All you want is to kill Godzilla too. That was so perfect. Oh my gosh. But yeah, this was just awful. Golly.
Wow.
I don't care what anyone says. I'm going over to the next one over here. This one seems like...
Yeah, we're gonna end this.
Right.
And so that was an episode of the Mourning Reads. I may or may not cancel this, because this broke me. You'll see next week. Bye!
See ya!
Bye.
Goodbye.
This makes SpaghettiOs look like Olive Garden.